And really today, we have not only a ton of blades to compare, just look at all these blades, to the cold steel verdict, and really not only break down what the blade has to offer, but more in concept, are the new generation of cold steels tough enough to compete with their original brothers? And you guys might be surprised with some of the performance I'm seeing with this blade steel that's on the pocket knife. Now, having been a raging blade addict for over a decade now, I love seeing different varieties of locking mechanisms that come onto the market. From the crazy and wild to the fast and smooth, simple and classic, all the way to the popular and fun. But those tend to be more light duty, focusing on the fun and the action than on the strength and durability. And that's why if I'm doing yard work around the home,
babe, I still don't understand the reason why we would start planting in January.
well, of course it's frozen in there. It's like 12 degrees outside. Building or fixing something for Mrs. GT.
Whoever came up with the idea of a floating shelf was a terrible person. Honestly, babe, I'm standing firm on the fact that a gourd is not a piece of art. It's something that you eat. I still don't understand why I need to cut this down. It looks fine to me.
Or hitting the trail for a day of adventure in the outdoors, lockback designs, and really the triad locking mechanism is the one I gravitate to the most when I know I'm gonna expect a lot of hard use out of my tools. For the verdict, this is one of the newest offerings in the pocket knife arena from Cold Steel in the compact size. Because Cold Steel is absolutely known for their monster folders, so having a triad locking mechanism in a compact package like this is refreshing and opens up the capability to a lot more people and users, and that I absolutely pounded on and absolutely held up to that test. And so I'm very pleased on the spine and on the locking mechanism portion. It's absolutely just as tough as the old tried and true designs that we've known for years. Now at 3 inches for the blade length, 4.1 on the handle, and 2.5 ounces, this is an extremely lightweight and compact blade. They've done good texturing on it, good ribbing. It's slightly contoured, so it's not flat, and fills out my large size hands just enough with a little bit of real estate left over. Those cut-ins fill out my hand perfectly. I feel really in control. I feel like I got good grip, and at just about 4.1 inches, I mean, I feel like I have the control that I need, the texture that I would want for the majority of tasks that I would put this blade through. And the tip is nice and buried in there, so it's not gonna accidentally, get popped out and nick you. But it is gonna have that more plastic, polymer feel. It's got the thumb stud that we all know that is, interchangeable, that you can move from right to left. Smooth action. I can easily drop, close one-handed. And guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, I invite you to subscribe, smash that like button, and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I post up new content, give you insight on new gear and how it performs. Now, one really cool attribute that I'm seeing with more of Cold Steel's modern designs, newer designs, is an updated pocket clip that I'm very pleased with. This one gets it done right. It is a deep ride flush with the body and recessed screws somewhat. They're better than most that you're gonna see. They're just a micron above the scale, but definitely not protruding. They hollowed down the body, the polymer body, slightly so that it fits over every pair of pants that I own. That brings us into the blade.
So funny story, I accidentally deleted all the footage that I had on me using the verdict. So now for round 2.
The blade being 3 inches, it's got, from what I can tell, is a saber grind. BLADEHQ claims a hollow, but when I did my test and shown light underneath it, I couldn't see any light. So to me, it is a saber grind that's about 2/3 of the way up, about 0.11 on the thickness, so a good thickness there, and a good edge geometry to be able to slice through a lot of material. Now, it's not going to be as slicey as a full flat grind, say on a Spyderco Delica, or something like that will slice better, but this is going to have more resilience and more strength because of the saber grind and the way that they've grounded in with that clip point and the overall functionality. Now to the question that I know is on most of your minds, what about that steel? And the steel that is being used here is 4116 stainless steel. It is a German steel, and the knife is made in Taiwan. So very cool to see that these knives are still being made in Taiwan. Excellent job. Hope that they continue to make the majority of their products over there and in the US. So that is excellent. Now, 4116 steel is definitely considered to be on the very budget end of steels. It's not something that you really want to like tote and like, hey, check it out, I got that type of steel. It's not going to impress anybody around the water cooler when you're all busting out your pocket knives on Monday morning after having purchased a new blade over the weekend. So just know that is just kind of the stigma, if you will, of that steel. It's kind of like, okay, that's very like low end. Now, having had this steel on several pocket knives as well as fixed blades, I found you're going to get about double the edge retention on this steel that you will on, say, a Victorinox pocket knife or multi-tool or HCR13MOV that you may find on Kershaw's and CRKT pocket knives. And will match the edge retention on most Buck 420 HC, holding its own against the AUS 8 that you might find on the K-Bar dozer. But AUS 10 steel that you're going to find on Cold Steel's other blades is going to hold its edge at least twice as long as 4116. Now, you may be really thinking twice now about this steel, or even going, are you sure about that, Aaron? That's just my mileage. Yours may vary, but I know I'm not alone in this. And all you have to do is YouTube 4116 steel, and you're going to find several other sources that back up my own experience. So what that means is whatever Cold Steel is doing with this, it's decent. By no means is it going to be a super steel or blow your mind, but it's a little bit better than you may expect, and definitely on par with a lot of AUS 8 that might be out there. But now it really comes down to pricing, competitive options, and really does this tool make sense to throw in rotation? Should you hold out for the more premium AUS 10 version or stick with the original or go in a completely different direction? Now, I actually got this on sale over at BLADEHQ for $44. The normal going rate is $52 for this model. And then I know that the premium, once it's released, version is going to be about $90-ish for that particular model with the AUS 10 and G10 handles. Now, I will have links in the description box below over to BLADEHQ, GPKNIVES, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, Amazon when these become available, as well as the competitive options that I'm about to offer to you and showcase, so that if one of these models does make sense, I do appreciate when you use those hyperlinks down below in the description box. First and foremost, we got to look at the Mini Recon 1. Very similar. Same blade length, about the same thickness. GRN handles very similar to this, but they're textured more like G10 and they're more squared off, whereas it's going to be more contoured on this particular version. And even though they're about the same handle length, what I've found is that the sweep on the Recon is going to almost be pushing my pinky off. It kind of like wants to force it away. So it's almost a 3-finger knife. I can just get my fingers on there, but just barely. And I actually enjoy the ergonomics and the grip slightly better. And I feel like I have a little bit more real estate and it's a little bit more organic on the verdict. Now, AUS 10 steel, this one over on BLADEHQ and other distributors, usually closer to about $65 to $70. And so it's priced squarely in the middle of what the budget-friendly version of the verdict is and what the premium version will be. Now I want to run in the now discontinued Pro Light. This has also that 4116 stainless steel from Cold Steel. This was an excellent budget-friendly workman's knife. I mean, that's what it was. It usually came in at about $30, maybe $35 max. Very, very similar style of blades, these two. And so with this coming in at $52 currently, and this one used to be about $30, let's say, I get prices are higher now for everything post, the world that we live in. But I feel like the $44 that I paid for this tool on sale was the right price. I feel it's like a little steep for my taste, for the materials, for just what else is out there. Currently, the Finn Wolf, I always think Finn Hawk because I think that's the fixed blade one. The Finn Wolf, AUS 8 steel, again, Taiwan, exact same type of handle scales, that polymer pocket clip, that you don't have to swap any of that. It's about $40 currently on average. And so now, after having used this blade, what is my verdict on Cold Steel with their new verdict? From a durability perspective, Cold Steel is definitely continuing to stay tough and committed to those roots. And even though it's not the steel I would prefer for the pricing, I'll take it over HCR, and it matches up with most AUS 8 that you're going to find out there in today's market. And even though you're going to find flashier, more fidget-friendly pocket knives out there around this same price point, few of them are going to be not only made in Taiwan, but are going to be tough and reliable like the triad locking mechanism that is on this verdict. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. What do you feel about the verdict series? Maybe how does it compare to the Mini Recon 1? If you already own one of these, how is it performing for you? And between the two, the AUS 10 version and this 4116 steel version, which one would you more gravitate to? I look forward to reading all the comments in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys coming over and spending your time today with me. I do invite you to subscribe if you haven't yet, again, and check out that video popping up. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.